All right, today we're going to dive into something pretty powerful. It comes from a simple morning prayer, but it has this really radical idea at its core. What if we could be grateful for everything? And I mean, not just the good stuff, right? But the challenges, the detours, the entire journey. Let's explore how this one little idea can completely shift our perspective.
So this single sentence, this is really the heart of it all. Grateful for everything. Now it's easy to say, sure, but really think about what that means for a second. It's not just being thankful for a sunny day, it's also being thankful for the storm that came right before it. That's a huge shift in thinking, and that's exactly where we're going to start.
Okay, so how do we even start to build a foundation like that? Well, it begins by looking past the obvious stuff. We're not just talking about being grateful for like a promotion at work or a nice dinner. We're talking about gratitude for the whole messy, complex tapestry of our lives. The good parts, the tough parts, all of it.
And this really breaks down into two very different ways of looking at gratitude. On one hand, you've got this, let's call it conventional gratitude. It only shows up when things are going great, when life is easy and joyful. But on the other hand, there's this profound gratitude. And this one, it's unconditional. It finds value in the bumpy roads, the detours, the hard lessons, the delays. It's all about seeing that the entire journey has purpose.
But this brings up a really tough question, doesn't it? I mean, how are you supposed to find gratitude in your past, especially the parts that were genuinely difficult or confusing? It honestly feels impossible sometimes. But this prayer, it actually gives us a really powerful way to start reframing our own story.
Yeah, it really all comes down to perspective. So let's take a look at how we can start to find that hidden purpose, even in our toughest chapters.
Okay, so it's totally natural to be thankful for the doors that opened, right? The big opportunities, the yeses that pushed us forward. Of course we're grateful for those. But that's only half the picture.
And this is where it gets really interesting. The prayer suggests being grateful for the doors that closed, the rejections, the no's. And you might be thinking, why on earth would I be grateful for that? Well, because when we look back with a little hindsight, we can often see that those closed doors weren't failures at all. They were actually protection, steering us away from a path that just wasn't right for us.
And it goes even deeper. The prayer literally reframes our hardships, turning them into our greatest teachers. Those painful seasons, they showed us who we really are. The moments we were sure would break us, turns out they made us stronger. Our tears, they taught us what compassion feels like. And our struggles, they built our faith.
And that's the key takeaway, right there. With this kind of perspective, nothing was wasted. Every single experience, the good and the bad, it all becomes part of our growth. It all has a purpose. Okay, so we've talked about reframing the past, but what about right now? Like in this very moment? Let's get into how we can make gratitude a real active choice, no matter what's going on.
I love how practical this is. This isn't about pretending everything's perfect or ignoring reality. Nope, it's about making a conscious choice. It starts with just acknowledging, hey, things aren't perfect right now. Then, accepting that you don't have all the answers. After that, you learn to trust that the process is still unfolding. And it's from that honest place that you can actually choose gratitude.
And a lot of the time, choosing gratitude just means noticing the small things. This prayer is such a good reminder to be thankful for the simple gifts we so often just blow right past. A quiet moment, that simple feeling of peace, the chance to just rest. Not every blessing is this huge, loud event, but they're all so meaningful.
Okay, so now the prayer takes a turn. It moves to a more spiritual level. And it actually identifies three profound kind of unseen forces that are always at work in our lives, and it asks us to be grateful for them by name.
The first one is grace. And the way the prayer talks about it, it's not some big abstract idea. It's something really personal. It's that feeling of forgiveness when you know you've messed up. And it's that fresh start that's just there for you every single morning, no matter what. Next up is peace. And again, this isn't just about things being quiet. It's an active force. It's the kind of peace that actually calms your anxious thoughts, that serves as an anchor when everything else feels like it's spinning.
And the last one is presence. This is about being grateful for a constant companionship, one that doesn't care if you're perfect or not. It's that deep down feeling that you're never really, truly alone, even when you feel like you've drifted way off course.
So, let's recap. We've talked about reframing the past, choosing gratitude in the present, and even recognizing these unseen forces at play. So the big question is, now what?
How do we actually carry this forward? How do we let this mindset truly shape who we are day to day? This is where it all becomes real, you know? It's about making a shift. So instead of letting anxious thoughts run the show, you let gratitude guide your thoughts. Instead of snapping back with hasty words, you speak from a place of thankfulness. Instead of just reacting to things, you choose to act with intention. Gratitude literally becomes the lens that you see the entire world through.
And when you get right down to it, this kind of profound gratitude, it isn't just about yesterday or today. It stretches into the future with this deep trust that no matter what comes your way, you'll be able to find a reason to be grateful. It really does encompass your entire existence. And just like that, we've come full circle, right back to where we started. But now, after digging into all these different layers, that simple phrase, it feels different, doesn't it? Grateful for everything. It's not just a sentence anymore. It's a whole worldview. It's really the core of what it means to have a heart full of thanks.
So what we've really seen here is that gratitude is so much more than just a fleeting feeling. It's a choice, it's a perspective, and it's a practice that can literally transform your entire experience of life. So I want to leave you with this question to carry with you. Right now, in this very moment, what's one small, maybe even overlooked thing that you can choose to be grateful for?